Hi, this is Femboy Hilda, and I am here to discuss the white page for Eve Frontiers, the new blockchain game that CCP is currently in development. So there is an NDA agreement, so I can't discuss anything I don't know, or, well, I can't discuss anything from the previous playtest, but the white page is technically public knowledge, so we'll go through it and just discuss what is currently in this white page post. So the first thing we see is obviously just Eve Frontier. Basically describes what the game is. Eve Frontier, white page, blah blah blah. This marks the first iteration of Eve Frontier white page, a living document that will serve as a foundation for collaborative discussions with the community as we embark on our collective journey to rebuild a broken world over the coming decades. As we move through each phase of development, the scope and depth of this white paper will evolve. The next phase, a phase 4 closed playtest, will begin Friday, 27th September 2024. And for those who are interested, I do have my link pinned to the comments down below. So you can click on that and you will immediately come to a page that will give you the ability to sign up for the playtest. Now, I don't know if you will be accepted or whatnot, but it definitely helps me out and it helps you out. You know, it is what it is. Also, to register and visit, you can also click on this link, but it would help if you click on my link, obviously. And it has a pretty cool art page, which I might actually save for my wallpaper. This white paper as it stands is not exhaustive. It will grow and adapt as we refine our ideas through iterative development with periodic updates. We welcome readers to we welcome readers to actively engage with us and join the discourse through the Eve Frontier Discord and the official channels. That will also be linked down below for those who are interested in joining this project. So basically this first page is just a description of what the project is. Obviously it's not much, and in order to learn about the project in the most productive way, it's best just to join the Discord and sign up. Now the next page that we see is abstract. Let's see what it says. We present Eve Frontier, a crowd-built virtual world and player-driven sandbox. Pretty much, you know, it's just a sandbox, and who doesn't love sandboxes? Except for those who don't like some sandboxes, you know what I'm saying? Eve Frontier builds on and extends the success of various virtual worlds that have come before, in particular the sci-fi MMO RPG Eve Online, which if you ever played Eve Online, which is a dope ass game, I would recommend playing it. Yeah, then you understand the premise of this project. It's basically in the Eve universe, as is all their games that they make. As a space survival simulation, its inhabitants will find themselves awakened within a shattered region of space. Sounds dope. Warped by the presence of supermassive black holes, gravitationally bound to a macabre dance. Macabre, sorry about if I butcher some of these words. My eyesight isn't the best. But The rogue AI infests its depths, corrupting and consuming the remnants of what still stands. Sounds like a dope-ass intro to a pretty dope-ass game. At least storyline-wise. Rogue AI infests its depths. I already read this. Another dope-ass wallpaper. I might actually take this for my computer. I've always big fascination with dope art. The universe of Eve Frontier has been built upon technically robust foundations rooted in immutable rules which govern its physics and behavior. Through these foundations based on cryptographic techniques and blockchain technology, our vision is that Eve Frontier will be in players' hands, allowing them to modify aspects of the single shard server and runtime, which I think what that means is players will be able to program and modify the game as they play the game. So if you're really good at programming and such, you can pretty much modify stuff, and sell it using the blockchain within the game, which I thought was pretty dope. No Web3 game or crypto game I've ever seen actually did that or does that. So, is what it is. Where was I? Players' hands allowed to modify aspects of single shard server runtime while adhering to the digital physics in tandem with its open design. It will offer an evolved player-driven sandbox through open third-party development and tooling, giving players recognition, ownership, and freedom over their own creative efforts. Yeah, it kind of reminds... Actually, I don't think this is the first game that did that. I played a game called Second Life. Though if you go on Second Life and you tell people it's a game, they pretty much have like a riot and tell you it's not a game. But it is a fucking game. And that was one of the few games I've ever played where players can actively create stuff and add it to the game and sell it. Obviously, I don't think Second Life is using the blockchain, but it's a similar concept, which is pretty dope. It'll give people with real life skills the ability to help make stuff, and I don't know, I think it's pretty dope. As players take a greater role in the evolution and growth of Eve Frontier, the amalgamation of this creativity will result in player-driven societies and ultimately civilization. The keys to its universe and civilization will be handed over to its players, allowing them to fully utilize a fully player-driven, governed, and created virtual world. Dope. Basically means that you can just create whatever you want as long as you have the ability to do so. I don't know if it's like unlimited or if you have to follow specific rules or lore. Obviously we'll find out as the time comes. Alright. Philosophy. With Eve Frontier, we aim to push the boundaries of what a virtual world can aspire to be. Building on the worlds that have come before us, most notably EVE Online, we have identified valuable lessons. The design of EVE Online rests upon a single defining concept. Death is a serious matter. So basically, full loot PvP, death, you actually lose shit. Same as in EVE Online. Which I like. It's definitely not a game or a philosophy for everybody. Some people like not to lose their shit, but I don't mind losing my shit because I have the ability to defend my shit, or at least I hope. You know what I'm saying? This principle is how the world of EVE Online has sustained itself over the decades, and will continue to do so for decades to come. The concept permeates the entire material economy of EVE Online, where nothing ventured results and nothing gained. Nothing ventured results and nothing gained. Alright. EVE Frontier builds on this concept and extends it to player agency, posing two questions. So, basically just telling you, where there's risk, there's reward. So basically, in order to gain the reward, you have to risk to get that reward. Which, you know, EVE Online does that very well. To some people's gripes, obviously. Could you create a virtual world that was true only to itself? I don't get it. Could you create a virtual world that was true only to itself? And the second question is, what truth would that virtual world have for its inhabitants? Those are very good questions because I don't fucking understand them. You know, EVE Frontier is a simulation of a universe where the rules, its digital physics, are fixed and immutable, beyond even the control of its developers. The incorporation of fundamental laws of energy bring the world closer to thermodynamic accuracy, enhancing its realism and fortifying the underlying foundations. On these foundations, inhabitants of the frontier are free to create novel emergence experiences, particularly through the groundbreaking mechanics of smart assemblies, as both features development and the player participation shapes its evolution. The world will continue to grow and transform in ways currently unimaginable. Foundation, blah blah blah. Yeah, my understanding isn't the greatest, but if I would to guess, this is the industry where players build and create the world using smart assemblies. I mean, if you understand that, like, comment down below, because some of this is kind of confusing for me. But that's why I'm making this video, for people, and let's have a discussion about it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're under NDA, so anything that's not in here, we can't discuss. Not only that, even it's probably not the same game, anyways. So everything's changing, evolving, all that stuff. Currently unimaginable. Another dope picture. What is this? A fucking rock? It is. We have long recognized that virtual worlds, though shaped as much by their players as by their developers, rarely see the contributions formally acknowledged. Despite the pivotal role players play in building these worlds, their efforts often remain unrecognized in any explicit or meaningful way. Through strict end-user license agreement, developers and operators confer very limited rights to what players can create and have created. Player-driven creativity is, in most cases, owned by the proprietors of such worlds, or in others banned or removed entirely. Wiped from record. In other cases, many worlds are retrofitted to support these efforts. Player-built creations are derived from APIs added after the fact rather than from the world's foundational design. Also, another thing that kind of confuses me, but I just think that they're explaining what a sandbox MMO usually entails. But in short, despite decades of creativity and effort being poured into virtual worlds by players, the ability of developers and operators to grant digital property rights and access their players as a complicated cultural, technical, and legal understanding. So basically, they're talking about how players can play the game even though they feel like they own something. They don't really own it. And so they're talking about how in something that they're trying to create, a player will actually own the intellectual property rights for the item that they own, are in the game. So everything is actually owned by the players, not just in name, but physically and financially. This is what I think, or get at, you know what I'm saying? eFrontier will change this by building the world on a very different premise. Combining its permanence and open access, eFrontier can survive eternally a self-sustaining and persistent digital reality, as true to the players and their actions as our own physical world is to our own. A sovereign virtual world that will become self-governing and operating. You, the community, will hold the power to perpetuity for the world designed to last forever. Sounds nice, but will it be achievable? You know, because in the end of the day, it's still a video game, right? That's the only thing I have issue with, like blockchain games who promise more than they can deliver, if you know what I'm saying. But if this works, I think it would be a game changer, and it would be dope. And I think if any company does this properly, CCP will probably succeed. Because look at EVE Online. EVE Online, they've done stuff that was never done in video games, you know. So who knows? We'll see. Creative players rightfully access and ownership of their creative efforts. When the ontology of the world, or the virtual world, is held by a distributed and consensus-based ledger, granted digital property rights to participants can become real. A virtual world true only to itself through digital physics. By enabling players to program with an open environment and by open sourcing our development platform. Basically, they're releasing the engine that EVE Online is built on. Specifically, so players can become the developer in the sense where they can build their own shit through the engine, whether it's their own projects or through eFrontiers. I don't know if you. Well, if they're making it open source, that means you probably can build your own game with it, which is dope. I'll actually be checking that out once they release that. I don't know if it's going to be free, but knowing knowing CCP, most of the games they have released have been free in some capacity. So it'll probably be open. Oh, well, they did say it's open source, so I assume it's going to be free. We empower the inhabitants of eFrontier with the tools and freedom to shape and rebuild the world according to their own vision. Hopefully this can be a good thing and not a bad thing, because, you know, players are not developers in the sense where, I mean, you give players the right to build whatever they want, and the world's just going to end up looking like shit. Alright, let's be honest. Not saying every player isn't good at developing, because most employees from CCP either they're all gamers, you know, most of them play EVE Online, so they know what it is that makes EVE good, or at least in some capacity. This moddable layer rests upon the world's digital physics and spans the entire universe, continuously simulated and persistent. This openness not only empowers players but formally recognizes them as active co-creators of eFrontier. I think this could be dope if people build entire star systems. I would love to see the universe expand in that capacity. You know, hopefully not everything. Hopefully people build stuff that is lore friendly, not just like random shit. they might actually have a way to like check it. Like if I design something, hopefully CCP has like a what do they call, like when you go through airport checkpoint, right? They scan your shit, make sure it's legit, right? Hopefully they have a way to like where you mod something or build something and then present it to CCP where they can say, all right, this is stupid, it's a no-go. But who knows? A role supported by the game's technological infrastructure, business model, and economic design. So I actually kind of like this idea, and hopefully it works really good. The white paper details this vision for eFrontier, a dynamic, emergent, and community-driven world where players hold the power, in which their actions have lasting consequences. The following sections outline the foundational components, starting with the core beliefs that drive its development and design principles which shape it. Yeah. Enough said. It's pretty good idea. And I actually like it. Hopefully it works out. Next is core beliefs. Alright, human growth from shared experiences. It almost feels like I'm in therapy reading this. You know what I'm saying? Playing together is fundamental to being human, an essential activity in our lives that lead to personal growth and satisfaction. By sharing experiences with one another, we connect, learn, and grow. This is true across the virtual and the physical, from loss to hope, from anger to joy. Shared experiences create meaning in our lives. eFrontier takes this belief and transplants it upon the universe. The frontier is a world defined by shared experiences, conveyed through the necessity of banding together to survive its brutality, in the quest to build anew. Though intense and unpredictable adversity, eFrontier will create meaningful human connections and personal growth for its inhabitants, driving the formations of cultural and identity within the world itself. It basically means that, you know, this game is more geared towards team play, group play, and just like creating friendships. You know, like EVE Online. It's nothing different than that. A virtual nation and digital sovereignty. The Code of Hammurabi, a collection of 282 rules, set the standards for commercial dealings and outlined fines and punishment to uphold justice. As one of the earliest and most comprehensive legal texts, it was etched into clay tablets and safeguarded within the city walls. Today, end-user license agreement govern the digital property rights of everything from our game, libraries, our songs, to almost everything we created online. These EULAS, I don't know how to pronounce that, I never did, typically grant participants only the most limited rights of access, restricting their abilities to fully engage with or contribute to the virtual world. As such, these virtual worlds are in fact chiseled in a metaphorical stone age. With eFrontier, we aim to transform this approach by creating a world where digital property rights are not only immutable but self-governing, eliminating the need for any Hammurabi to oversee and protect those rights. The world, true only to itself, will be the only governor. Basically, pure anarchy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Basically, the top dog is the one that makes the top rules. You know what I'm saying? We believe that participants and contributors to our virtual world should have ownership rights to the digital property they create or that arises from their collective efforts. eFrontier will be collectively owned, governed, and operated by its players, evolving into independent and sovereign entities. A virtual nation free from autocratic control. The framework established will empower players to form and sustain their own tribes and cultures, free from interface except from other players. The powerful tools provided will mirror this autonomy, allowing players to create their own laws, livelihoods, and enforce them through smart contracts. See, allowing players to create their own laws, livelihood, and enforce them through smart contracts. In-game mechanics and self-crafted societal norms. What did I say? Complete anarchy. People who make the laws are the ones that are, the top dog in the game. Autonomous world. We seek to build a world that exists perpetually. A perpetuity where every player can contribute and bring their unique ambitions to life. Continuously extending and enhancing the ecosystem to benefit all participants is critical. Rooted in composability and built upon a programmable foundation. Creating such a world presents a significant technological challenge, one that will not be feasible until... Let me enlarge this. There we go, a lot better. One that is not feasible until the advent of recent groundbreaking technologies and techniques for its full realization. The decision to build on a blockchain came after years of careful consideration. While not yet perfect, it serves as the best starting point. As a cryptographic methods, the blockchain capabilities grow to support greater scales and compute power. This virtual world will eventually run without the need for privileged actors, achieving the vision of a fully autonomous world. I mean, it sounds fun. I don't know much about crypto, so anybody who is smarter than me can probably explain it to me in the comments below. I am definitely not a crypto nerd, so I'm an Eve nerd. Open third-party development. Alright. We envision a future for Eve Frontier that is both persistent and anonymous, independent of its creators and contributors. The effort of players to re-civilize the frontier, coupled with the game's inherent design and technological foundations, are key to this evolution. Through a wealth of player-built utilities, societies will arise and cultures will form, which is dope. Kind of similar to how Eve did, but probably on a better scale. Not larger scale, but better scale. Thus, having an open approach to third-party development is important through smart assemblies, programmable in-game objects. Basically, they're just talking about the objects in the game all are programmable. And additional constructs within the game world. Players will have open access to enhance and extend aspects of eFrontier server in real time, freely expressing their creativity. We will do this by using open source tools wherever practical, and taking the step to open source proprietary components such as Carbon Engine. See, they're making their engine open source, and since I love EVE Online, it's like the first game I've ever played in my life. I can't wait. I really want to use the Carbon Engine. I want to learn how to program my own shit within the game. That would be dope. I'm not a crypto nerd, but I'm a programming nerd, and I love programming, and I've always wanted to be a game designer. And since CCP has given me the opportunity to do my due diligence within the EVE universe, I'm going to take advantage of it. Now, design principles. Identity is at the heart of, you are a real, design principles. You are a real human in the frontier. Right. Identity is at the heart of e-frontier. We recognize the inhabitants of the world as true beings, entities of their own agency and will. Through their expressions, actions, and contributions to achievements, players will be recognized as part of the frontier's living universe. I don't quite understand that, but I'm sure I'll understand by the end of this. Alright, in a world where automation threatens to undermine the value of human agency, we have made a deliberate choice. E-Frontier is a game that prioritizes an intelligence, creativity, and decision-making of human players. We recognize the challenges posed by bots and multi-boxing in online games where automated systems can unfairly tip the scales. E-Frontier places human skill at the forefront of every action in the world, requiring energy, imbuing its universe designed with inherent civil resistance to brute force, machines, repetition, and automation. Our systems of energy, arbitration, and skill-based gameplay ensure that human players focus on a single avatar and will have the upper hand. Basically, what I think this means is no more alts. A single avatar. You can't create multiple accounts. You can't create multiple alts. Which I fucking love. Excuse my language, but fuck alts. It's like botting to me. Even in EVE Online, even though I have like 8 alts, I only use 1. The other ones were, I just made them just because, you know, I just made them. I've never actually used them or put any skills into them. I hate multi-boxing, so I think this is actually a good thing. You know, focusing on a single avatar will have the upper hand over machines attempting to find repeatable and exploitable sequences. Well, I don't know if having alts will be against the rules in Frontier, but it will definitely be a downside to having ults. This will remain a constant battle. Design objective is that a single focused human should outmaster any machine automation or attention division. I actually like that. Alright. Scarcity and impermanence. In e-Frontier, nothing comes easy. Just like in the natural world, resources are finite, and their scarcity drives conflict, cooperation, and creativity. Every decision players make, whether it's traveling across the galaxy, maintaining their ships, or engaging in combat, comes at the cost. These resources constraints ensure that players must strategize, plan, and execute their options carefully. Scarcity breeds innovation. By making resources limited, unevenly distributed, we've created a dynamic world where players are constantly challenged and adapt, compete, and collaborate. Basically, it forces us to fight other players or form alliances. You know, basically like EVE. Except EVE doesn't have scarcity like this. Sorry, I'm tired. The asymmetry of resources distribution fuels emergent gameplay where syndicates are formed, wars are waged, and economies are built. This carefully balancing of scarcity and opportunity ensures that every player decision have weight, that the world remains vibrant and unpredictable. Just like in the physical world, nothing lasts forever without upkeep. Every system, structure, and resources require ongoing upkeep to survive the harshness of space. The omnipotent force of decay pushes against the players as they attempt to overcome the challenges in the world. By embedding this principle in the core, we have created a world where collaboration, resource management, and planning are essential for long-term success. This concept of impermanence drives players to work together and construct a system that stands the test of time, even as they face the inevitable challenges of entropy and decomposition. Basically, anything you place will decompose unless you have the resources to repair it or keep it maintained. Basically, you gotta maintain everything. I assume this goes for ships as well. Like, ships don't last forever. We have designed a world where actions or emergent behavior. We have designed a world where the actions and decisions of its inhabitants drive the evolution of the universe. Complex systems and patterns arise out of the relatively simple interactions as the end goal of every system we design. We believe that most compelling stories, challenges, and opportunities come not from pre-scripted events, but from the organic interactions of players shaping the world around them. The tools provided by giving players more powerful tools to influence the game's economy, politics, and social dynamics. We will build a universe that lives and breathes from player behavior and effort, whether through collaboration, conflict, or creative problem solving. eFrontier empowers players to forge their narratives and leave a lasting impact on the world. Our digital physics ensure that every action has a resulting consequence, making the game an ever-evolving landscape of creation, decay, and destruction that is entirely player-driven. Another dope-ass little screenshot here. And here we go. No reward without risk. Which I love. Sustainability is not possible when rewards are given freely. For effort to be truly valuable, some amount of risk must be taken on. Asymmetric risks is possible, but some amount of risk will always be present. From the passive cosmic radiation that decayed the object in the world, to active marauding from pirates attacking shipping lanes, effective management of risk through strategic, skillful gameplay, and social organizations that yield the greatest rewards. So basically, I think they're talking about players attacking you is a risk, and the NPCs are smart enough to know where the players go to get money and farm and harvest, which I think is pretty dope. That's what I get out of this. Third-party development. Players should have the freedom not only to exist and engage within the world, but also shape it in a meaningful way. This is why composability is central to eFrontier. From the beginning, we are embracing third-party development by providing players the tools to build and modify the game world to their needs and desires. With smart assemblies, our open source framework, and secure off-chain to on-chain zero knowledge tooling. I don't understand that. If you know what that means, comment down below and explain it to me. Players have the freedom to create custom systems, whether it's designing automated defenses, building private economies, or programming new ship functionalities. Sick. I really like this. Those innovations all operate within the game's immutable digital physics. The modability ensures that the game will continuously evolve and adapt as the community grows. By allowing players to create, modify, and expand the world, we are unlocking limitless possibilities for emergent gameplay and community-driven innovations. Pretty dope, man. I don't know any other game that does this besides Second Life. The world of eFrontier, or progressive development. The world of eFrontier will continue to grow and evolve in perpetuity. We have created a progressive development model that allows it to expand organically and for that to be driven collectively, starting with smaller, carefully designed features set built on digital physics. As it grows, so will the opportunities for players to contribute to its evolution. As the universe grows, inhabitants will exert control through decentralized governance. A pantheon of developers will join the implementations of eFrontier, ensuring the diverse body of interests are represented and intact. The technology and product stacks requires deep specialization and contributed computing and cryptographic techniques will be in high demand. Basically, they're having the players make their own world based on what they have. Obviously, CCP are in charge and they're doing the framework for the game, but the players will be in charge of building upon that framework, which I actually think is pretty sick, and I'm all for it because I've always liked games like this. So all right, for the next,